guys, it's Mark from Hallmark Pool Supplies. I'm here today to talk to you about fixing or replacing the key assembly in a Hayward multiport valve. And before we get started, I want to point out that there are different key assemblies for different multiports. In this video demonstration, we're going to be dealing with the 714 valve, which is a top mount filter. There's also valves that are side mount filters, and we'll be making videos on those at a later date. For an example, why would we be replacing this valve, and when do we know when we need to replace it? Well, first of all, on a nice brand new valve, you're going to have really nice rotation, and when we push the valve down, the valve will pop back up. That lets us know we have good compression and that the spring is good, and we know the valve is working properly. When we have a valve such as this valve, for an example, and this is a war valve, when we push down on the valve does not pop. It is extremely hard to turn. You can even hear it. It's very hard to turn. When you have a valve that's doing this and does not want to pop or spring back, it has lost its life and it is time to replace. And another reason we may want to replace it, not just because the operation or hard to turn or no spring, is when the filter system is running in filter and you have water leaking out of the backwash, that means you're losing water in your swimming pool. We want to make sure that we do have that compression and that it is working properly so that you don't have water leaking out of the backwash. On the valve, we have what's called a key assembly, and this is what this valve looks like when we take it apart. This is the key assembly, and if you'll take note, on the 714 valve, there is a gasket that is molded to the diverter. The diverter itself, as we push down on the handle, the diverter is lifting up, so as we rotate, we can change positions, and therefore it drops back down when the handle goes back up. In a war valve such as this one, when we push it down, the diverter is not really lifting, so therefore as we turn it, all that's happening is the gasket itself is wearing on the bottom of the inside, and therefore it's wearing out the gasket. This will cause leaks, and it does need to be fixed. So you can take this valve apart. It can be rebuilt. Manufacturers have it set so that basically replacing the whole thing is just much easier, and it's only a little bit more to replace the whole thing as opposed to rebuilding it, changing all the parts such as the handle, the Teflon bearing, the shaft seals on the diverter, the spring, or the diverter itself. So it's just much easier, especially for the DIYs, to replace it, and I'll show you how we do that. So the first thing we want to do is we want to unscrew the screws on top of the multiport, removing the key assembly. There are 6 screws located around the top, and we're going to unscrew them. Okay, now that we have the screws removed, we're able to take the diverter and we're going to be able to pull it out. Now, once we pull the diverter out, it is very important that you'll see that there's a notch right here, and that notch goes right here. That way, when we put the valve on, we're not going to be rotating it, putting it on incorrectly. So when we replace a key assembly, normally, all we have to do is remove the O-ring, because the key assembly does not come with the O-ring. We can set that aside. Then we can take the O-ring, put it on the new key assembly. And as a side note, when transferring the O-ring from one key assembly to the other, if the O-ring is wore or damaged, then it should be replaced. Most of the time you don't have to replace it, but in this case, if you do, you can also replace that along with the key assembly. And once we put this on, what we want to do is we want to get some Jack's lube. This way we can put some on our finger, go around, and this is going to lubricate that O-ring so that when we put it in, it's going to protect it. It's going to slide right in. It doesn't pinch or roll or turn on you. And when we drop it in, once again, we want to make sure that that notch is going to line up just as so. And then we push it down, and then we're going to be able to then put the screws back in. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with my drill, and we're going to put the screws in. And we're going to start right here. And I'm just going to snug it. I'm not going to put it in all the way tight. The idea is to put the screws in gradually, and then we're going to go back and tighten them up as we go. Now that I've got the screws in snug, we're going to put the drill up, and now we're going to go by hand, because we don't want to use the drill, because we don't want to strip any of the screws, because if that happens, then you'll be replacing the whole valve. And so in this case, we're just going to start here, and we're going to tighten the screws by hand. We want to go all the way around and make sure that we get them secure. And by snugging it up like this, all the way around evenly, it draws everything in so we know we're nice and tight. We've got a good fit. Now we can check our compression. You can see that the valve is rotating nice and smooth. And there you go. And hopefully you guys found this video to be helpful. And if you have any questions or you have a hard time finding any parts or anything that you need, feel free to contact us. And remember to hit the subscribe button for future content. And for all your pool needs, visit us at hallmarkpoolsupplies.com. As always, my name is Mark. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.